What's up, you guys? Here on my YouTube again. We're checking it out today. I just got started. I'm still getting over my cold, so please forgive that. Real quick though, I got a busy morning, so while I get started here, we're gonna go ahead and go in here and serve the CHP real fast. Just a basic subpoena. So as you guys know, I like to switch my stuff around. I'm gonna go ahead and put my field sheet on my clipboard, and then I'm gonna come in with my paperwork separate. So normally. All right, so I got everything set up. When you serve a CHP, you gotta have a check, $275. I've already served this one once, and now they're wanting to change the dates. So let's go ahead and go inside and deliver this subpoena. I'll turn the car off. It's really nice when you get in a situation where you can knock things out quickly. Hello. I have a subpoena for Mr. Ortiz. I delivered it once before, but they changed the hearing date.
Which Ortiz?
Officer?
Oh, okay. Let me get her. Look.
Okay. I'm back. I guess I served it too late last time, so that's an updated.
No, we actually changed the date.
Oh,
yeah.
you did? Okay.
Yes. So I did.
Now, the law side folks are still over at that office
And your
at
last
32 and 99. I guess you moved here.
That's right. And your badge number?
A16346.
Thank you very much. All right, so I just got it served to Officer Sims. Whenever you're serving a CHP, make sure you get their badge number, because everyone who works for the CHP or the state police, they generally will have a badge number. Man, it's warm and toasty out today. All right. So if you guys are with me, it's because you want to learn how to serve papers and you're willing to go through this is kind of like a ride along, okay? It's going to be choppy because I'm getting phone calls and going throughout my day. But when I first started, I could have learned a lot by riding along with somebody. The problem with ride-alongs is you're trapped. You get in the car with them and then you're with them for the rest of the day, and because they're busy, right? They don't have time to go take you back home or take you somewhere. So if you do a ride-along, which I was never able to do, no one wanted to share that information with me. But you guys, I'm sharing this information with you. So, and the cool thing is you can drop in, drop out whenever you want, whenever you feel like it. So I hope this is valuable for you guys and you understand kind of the sacrifice that I'm making. But now I'm gonna put my details into Serve Manager so that I can keep track of my serves and my wife can do the proofs real easy. Just one sec. All right, so I got my details entered into the Serve Manager. The cool thing about Serve Manager is I can push the after I enter in the details, I can push to send it to the customer. And when you're dealing with affiliates, they do their own proofs. So I can't think of a better way to communicate status to them like immediately. And then I'm off to my next one. And then when I get to the office, I'll have a proof of service sitting there waiting for me. So it's a pretty sweet deal. It's a pretty sweet service, especially if you're just getting started out. Serve Manager has everything you would need. So this one here, I'm kind of excited about. I don't have a whole lot of time to hit. I don't know if I'm going to finish all my morning serves here in Chico because I got to head out to Orland. But in Orland, I'm doing this. So I just got a call from my wife and said the internet is down in our area. And she's trying to figure it out. And so we're like scrambling. Like I have a client that needs to have a proof filed by noon. It's 10:38 right now, and I have 12 more serves to do before I head out of town in 30 minutes to go do this mass eviction where I'm doing it's like 12 trailers and all this stuff. So it's pretty intense right now. But you know what? I love this. Like I can't imagine being in an office right now where some dude hates his job more than I do mine. So he makes my life miserable. I can't imagine living in a every day like that. This is my life. I've chosen this life. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. Sometimes you're living like a rock star and you got thousands of dollars in the bank. Maybe hundreds of thousands sometimes, and then sometimes you got nothing. Right? Sometimes you're broke as a joke because bills come out, you got to pay your bills, you got to upgrade, you got to do marketing. And, as I grow my business, I learn how to prepare for the ebbs and flows, but it's still hard. So I'm going to come over here. This job that I'm on my way to right now, again, I always put my route in my iPad so that I'm prepared moving forward as I go, so that I don't have to think about my route. I just put in the next one and go. That way I can hustle my way to the next one. So that way I can focus on the next one and look at it and think about it. So this one, the lady, I've knocked on her door a few times and she never answers. I've actually heard her say, told her dog to shut up, and she's like hiding behind the door. And she works at a vet clinic. Let's see, barking. The neighbor said they don't know them. She believes that the next door neighbor's name is Debbie, not whatever this says. Let me see my GPS here. So this is supposedly a vet's clinic. Yeah, Havers Veterinary Clinic. So I'm interested to see, it seems like it's probably a small clinic. So if this lady that I've been knocking at her house, if this really is her house and it really is her place of employment, it's going to be interesting because she's going to see me walk in there after trying to dodge me, and we're probably going to get some pretty sketchy reactions here. So this will be cool. We'll see what happens, but all right. Apparently it's up here further. All right. Yeah, it's right up here on the corner. So, I got some of them that have to be done today. They get marked rush on the front. Some of them that don't have to be done today, but they're on the way somewhere. It's just kind of a little bonus. So those ones you want to try to get served if you can, right? Because it's on the way, and then it's like a bonus. Some people, they don't pay for the rush, but remember the wow factor, you know? You don't want to, you know, it's a balance between setting expectations and over delivering. And so when people pay for a rush, you give them a rush. But the problem is if people don't pay for a rush and you always give them that wow, you have to ask yourself, or do they become where they expect you to serve it the same day? And that's a really hard thing to do. You must be really kicking butt and taking names if that's what you're doing. You know, but I don't know. For me, I think it's worth it just to go ahead and over deliver every time and try to get that wow factor. And then you can explain yourself if there's a time where they're like, hey, usually you serve it the same day. Why didn't you serve it the same day this time? Well, I didn't serve it the same day this time because I didn't happen to be in that area. You know, it seems it just was a perfect storm all the other times. You know, I knocked your thing out right away. Oh, here it is right here. 11:50. Oh, I don't see her car. I don't see her car out here. She had like an old Volkswagen. Alright, let's go in and see what we can find. She had like an old Volkswagen, and then I had to drive around back to try to find the car she drives. Marley. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Today's the 11th. Let's do it. Turn you guys around here. Beautiful day. Hi. I have a delivery for Marley Anderson. Really? Well, that's interesting because I talked to a neighbor because someone was inside but they wouldn't answer the door. I'm like, I'm just trying to deliver something, and then the neighbor said, "Oh, it's a Deborah, not a Marley." How long ago was it that you worked here? Months, like 3 months. Okay. Moved out. Do you know generally where she moves?
I don't.
No.
Yeah,
Okay. And quit.
what?
And she quit. She's gone.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. And what is your name?
My name's Mary Jo.
Mary Jo. Thank you very much. You have a good day. Appreciate it.
Okay.
So that's a perfect example of why you don't want to assume that where you're at is the right place, and just because someone's inside, you need to be beating on the door and like getting all crazy, right? Because here I find out at the work address, they could have totally been lying to me too, but that would have been a monumental lie. Like they would have had to plan that out ahead of time and everything. So in this case, there's quite a bit of diligence that's going to need to be put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the serve manager, send it to the client so they know what's going on, and they can either look for a new address or they can have me do a skip trace, which I'd be happy to do. So let me go ahead and put that in, and then we'll move on to the next address. What's up, you guys? So I'm sitting here right now, and there's like a big old thing going on over there. there's like a little baby and a little baby, the thing that you pull those babies with on a bike, and a lot of the homeless people would use them, you know, to carry all their stuff around. So when I saw it, I thought, yeah, that's just some homeless person with all their junk in it. But actually, there was a little baby, and the baby looks like it's okay, but there's like 50 cops right there on the corner, probably like 12 cops. We got these new motorcycle police too, and they're all like zipping around town, like catching people doing stuff. So it's kind of fun. But anyway, I got to beat it out here to this trailer park. It's actually a property with 3 different properties on it, 3 different, like, you know, zoned properties, and one of them belongs to my client, and who's going to try to purchase the other 2 properties in auction right now. They're having an auction right now, and I'm going to have to give him a call. I'm going to be a little bit late because he wanted to meet me at Burger King to talk about the zones. And Alright, you guys. So I just went to serve this doctor's office, and while I was in there, or while I was going in there, I realized the last time I came in, they said there was nobody there they could accept for this doctor. And you know, a subpoena has to be personally delivered if it's for a personal appearance. So I was going to deliver it to him, go in there and deliver it to anybody. And then I realized they told me to come in on a day that is past the hearing date. So we blew it. Sometimes that happens, you know. You can try to, you know, it's not completely your fault, but try to give a discount on it, just to make the customer happy. But honestly, serves like this, that kind of stuff happens sometimes, so you got to tighten it up a little bit. Well, I do have enough attempts on it. I just, if I would have realized the date was coming up and passed already of the hearing, the deposition, I would have been back in there before the deposition to get it served and said, hey, I don't care. Like, if he's not here, I'm giving it to you. But generally, I try to be as nice as I can, you know. So it looks like I'm getting a text message from my client saying that he's at Burger King already. I don't like the idea of meeting at Burger King. It's kind of trashy in my opinion, unless you're serving someone there. Meeting my client there, I don't know. I certainly don't eat there. It's garbage food. No offense if you eat at Burger King, but just garbage food. You know, the flour and sugar nowadays. I'm not a big health person. Like, I'm not someone who will preach about health stuff, but I have learned, because I gained so much weight over my lifetime, that flour and sugar is a drug. They're both drugs. Flour is a drug because our body was never meant to eat it in its refined state. Sugar is a drug because both of them, because the way they affect our bodies, we become dependent. We become addicted to them. Like, it's a craving thing. And I never realized this. I always thought it was just calories in, calories out. So I'd count my calories, I'd lose some weight, and then I'd gain it right back. What I didn't realize is I couldn't control my eating habits because I didn't understand how they work. I didn't understand how my cravings worked. And now my cravings were based on my desire to have flour and sugar. And when I stopped eating flour and sugar, and I mean completely, like, I don't eat bread of any kind. I don't eat sugar of any kind. I do drink diet soda, and I've had some of my friends say, well, it's still sugar, and, you know, your body still processes that sugar, and that might be true, but diet soda is kind of my crutch, and because of the blockers on it, I'm not going to get too sciencey on you, but I learned that they're blockers on it, and that's what makes your body not digest it as a sugar. It just processes it like like cellulose, like wood, like you would eat grass or wood. It's like fiber. It doesn't process it as a calorie, so it just, you drink it and it just goes right out of you. So there's no calories. So for somebody who's trying to lose weight, who's trying not to, gain a bunch of weight, it's definitely a good crutch. Ultimately, water is the best thing for you, though. All right, so I got 30 minutes to drive here. I'm going to pause real fast. I'm going to call my client, let him know I'm going to be a little bit late. There's never a good excuse to be late without notice. I don't care. Like, it could be anything. If you're late, basically, you say you're going to be somewhere at 11:30 in this case. You should be there at 11:30. If you can't be there, what is a good reason? Okay, this is a good reason. Your mother died. Well, you and your mother were in the car together. You got in a car accident. Your phone flipped out of the car into the field, and your mother's now dead. And you have to transport her to the hospital. That's your good reason. Anything less than that, there's no reason why you shouldn't call. Even if your phone got locked, you can borrow someone else's phone. Even if you didn't have the phone number because you were using somebody else's phone, you could Google on their phone the client's phone number and find them and leave them a message with somebody, right? So, all right, I'll stop beating that dead. Oh, man. Okay, you guys, so I just made it back into a good signal here. I've been thinking about this a lot. How am I going to go in here and I'm going to serve all these trailers? Like, I got all these notices printed out. When I meet with Ron, I'm going to talk about, does he have any? Because I guess what happened was he owned one property that has a house on it. And then the neighbors owned another house that had a house on it. And then there's a property next to both of those two properties that has just an empty lot. Well, I guess all these people came, they're like, I guess one guy came and put his trailer there. And then another, he invited a friend and put his trailer next to it. So now there's like all this row of like 8 trailers on this property. It's going to be a freaking show, okay? It's going to be a show. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can YouTube live it for a couple reasons. One reason, if I get shot, I want it to be documented, all right? I want people to know that I was just doing my job. That's one of the reasons that I will always wear a badge. Not a badge like I'm a cop, but a badge like I'm official, right? Because I want people to know, like, hey, I'm official, man. I'm not here doing some nefarious thing. And I would rather people know I'm official than maybe blow my cover. Okay, somebody was calling me. I'd rather be official and know people, and blow my cover than have somebody say, you know what, he was creeping around the side of my house and he's looking at my daughter's window or something. They make up stuff, man. People make stuff up. And then they just, boom, come outside and shoot you. Say he was a creeper. And they probably wouldn't even go to jail. So, yeah, when I get here, I'll meet Ron and talk to him. It's going to be about a $1,200 payday. I invoiced him for the actual fee to prep it and to prep the UD and to serve it. And I'm coming out and serving these notices as well. So it's basically a 60-day notice on all the properties, on all the trailers. And I'm going to have to take pictures of all of it. So should be fun. Fun. So I may not YouTube live it because I want to be able to take pictures, and I don't know if YouTube will let me do that while I'm taking pictures. And I got to make sure I get the GPS stamped photographs for my client, because a notice is the #1 contested thing in court. I'm headed out here now. It's about a 30-minute drive. I'm almost there now because I've gotten a few phone calls. My daughter works for me. Her name's Nicola. It means freedom of the people, something like that. and it's actually like a Russian name, and her mom named her that. It means, and it's a guy's name in Russia, Nikola, but we just say Nikola, and or Cola for short. And she doesn't like cola either. It's funny. So anyway, I'm almost here to meet Ron, and I'm gonna go out here and serve these. And then after that, I have a whole route that's taking me up to Shasta Court, and then back out to Rancho Tehama, which is another sketchy area that I serve papers in. I gotta post a notice out there and serve a couple things out there. But it's like an hour from civilization, and there's no police, and everyone out there grows pot. It's pretty much like a free-for-all. People do whatever the hell they want out there. So definitely not a place I like to go serving, but when I do go out there, I make sure I charge a pretty penny. So, you know, a 500 spot times 5 when I go out there, that's not too bad, you know. Here's Ron.